Let's get started. Have you ever heard someone say that Latin is a dead language? And when you heard this, did you think, well, that doesn't make any sense? Languages aren't living beings. How can they be alive or dead? Well, if you thought that, then it will probably surprise you to hear that in an article by Pascal Chavot in 2016, it was estimated that one language dies every 4 months. Now, how can this happen? Because languages aren't really abandoned. People don't just abandon speaking their mother tongue. Well, we all use language, whether or not it's sign language or spoken language or even body language that's more portrayed. And as such, language has a life cycle: birth, endangerment after it's been used for a while, and then finally death when people stop using it altogether. So first, let's talk over how a language is born. A language forms out of necessity. It happens through a system of merging or fracturing. Creole languages, in an article written by Peter Becker in 2018, were described as languages that come about when two groups who speak different languages come into contact and merge or alter their native tongues in order to communicate. The second type is when a community fractures, either socially or distance-wise, and they take the language with them when they separate. The third type is the most uncommon type, and that is the intentional construction of a language. This happens when one or more person intentionally constructs a language instead of allowing it to come about naturally. The most well-known of these is a language called Esperanto that was invented pre-World War II in Europe and is still used today. So most people can reason through the birth of a language, but there are a lot of misconceptions about what kills a language. Languages are dying at an alarming rate, but not for the reasons why you might think. One article by Danny Heber in 2011 suggested that up to half of the languages that we speak today might not survive this century. Globalization is one reason that is falsely accused of this language decline, when in reality, globalization is an effect of the decline of languages rather than a cause of it. The second reason is trade. A lot of people blame trade for causing the language decline, to the point where many people refer to trade languages as killer languages. But in reality, even though trade allows languages to travel, there's no evidence that people give up their mother tongues, even when they need to go to work and speak another language. They usually come home and speak their own language in the evening. Finally, let's talk over what actually kills a language. A language dies only when something reaches into the home and disrupts the passing of a language from parent to child. One of the things that can do this is the institution of the state, whether that be a country or an empire. The state encourages national identity to take precedence over communal identity that includes culture and language. One branch of this is the Prussian school system that was established in the 18th and 19th century and has since taken a firm root in nearly every country across the world, including the United States. The Prussian school system encourages nationalism, conformity, and often corporally punishes children who choose to use their mother tongue on campus. Urbanization is the third reason why the number of languages in the world are declining. Urbanization allows many cultures to come together and intermingle and form families together. But oftentimes, couples decide to use the urban, city, trade languages instead of their own mother tongues with each other, so that they don't have to learn one another's tongues. So in summary, languages are alive. They are never still, and they're always in flux. But they disappear fast, as quickly as they arose, once children who were taught the language die off. Latin died like this. Once parents who spoke Latin stopped teaching their kids their mother tongue, Latin could not survive. We still have a record of Latin because of its contributions to science and literature. However, many small and indigenous languages were not so lucky. Once they went extinct, they were completely forgotten. As Rita Mae Brown said, language is the roadmap to culture. It tells you where its people came from and where they're going. So yes, language is in a way alive through people, and it dies through people as well. So the next time you say anything, remember that your language is precious and you should value it, because it might not be around forever. Thank you.